Pelton. This is Algebra 2, Chapter 6, Section 5. This is Part 3 of the video. Now we're going to go the opposite way and condense the logarithm expressions into a singular log, simplifying whenever possible. So before we did expansion, now we're doing condensing. So the order of condensing is the flipped order of what we did before. Okay. So therefore, the order of condense. Again, these are operations. And the order of operations is the power rule, which was last before, but now it's first of logs. Then the product rule of logs. And then finally the quotient rule of logs. Okay, so just flip the order basically. Okay, if there is more than one. Here there's only a product rule. So this is log base 4. Since it's the same base, we can combine them. If they were not the same base, you could not combine them. 2 times 32. That's the same thing with exponents too. Not the same base, you can't combine them. So that's 64. But always simplify if possible. And the question is 64 a base 4 number? It is. It's 4 to the third. So if those cancel, you're left with a final answer of 3. Next one is subtraction. That is a quotient rule. So that is log 4x minus 3 over x. It is a base 10. You don't need to put the 10 unless you want to. And that can't be simplified any farther. The next one has multiple things to do here. So we need to do the power rule first. So that's log of x to the 1/2. These are both common logs. Plus log of x minus 1 to the 4th. Then we'll do the product rule. And we get log of x to the 1/2 times x minus 1 to the 4th. And we can simplify a little bit farther. So that's log square root of x times x minus 1 to the 4th. Okay. All right, next one has a couple different rules. So we have a power rule first. So there's the natural log of x plus 7 to the third. Then we can do the quotient rule and get the natural log of x plus 7 to the third all over x for our final answer. Okay, and then question E involves all three types, all three rules. So you have to do them in the proper order to get the correct simplification. Okay, so first one is the power rule. So this gives me log base b of x to the 4th minus log base b of 6 squared minus 1/2 log base b. Oh, I messed that up. I got to bring the 1/2 up. I'm sorry. Log base b of y to the 1/2. Okay, so you notice we have to do the product rule next, but there is no addition here, so we'd skip over and go to the quotient rule, but there are two subtractions. So as a result, we'd have a fraction within the fraction. We don't want that. So whenever you see that, you have to do a simplification step first. So if I do that, I'm going to get log base b of x to the 4th minus brackets log base b of 36, which is the 6 squared, plus the log base b of y to the 1/2. Okay. The idea there is I divide it out a negative, so I actually have a product rule now. So when I go to my next step, I do log base b of x to the 4th minus, now I get log base b of the product rule, which is 36 y to the 1/2. Okay. So we did the power rule first, then we did some simplification. So we could do the product rule, which is the addition into multiplication. And then finally the quotient rule, which is log base b of x to the 4th over 36y to the 1/2. But we can simplify that 1/2 into the radical form. So that's log base b of x to the fourth over 36 square root of y, which would be your final textbook answer. All right, pause the video, try the student problems for yourself. Okay, first one is a product rule. So that's log of 25 times 4, which is really log of 100. But this is a common log, so nothing is specified. So that's really log base 10 of 10 squared, which gives us a final answer of 2 when simplified. The next one is a quotient rule, since it's a subtraction of two logs that are the same base, x7x plus 6 over x. That's our final answer. The next one has multiple rules. So we have to do the power rule first. So it's the natural log of x squared plus the natural log of x plus 5 to the 1/3 power. So we do the product rule next. So that's the natural log of x squared times x plus 5 to the 1/3 power. So we'll do some simplification, however, and get the natural log of x squared times the third root of x plus 5. And that is our final condensed log. Okay, D and E. All right, D has a power and a quotient. So do the power first. That's log of x minus 3 to the second power minus log base x. So using the quotient rule, I get log of x minus 3 to the second power over x as our final answer. Okay, last one, log base z has all three rules in it. So power rule first. So this is log base, not 3, it's z. I'm sorry. Log base z of x to the third minus log base z to the 2 to the fourth minus log base z of y to the 1/3. We'll do some simplification here so we can actually do a product rule because we have two quotients here. We don't want a fraction with a fraction. We'll take it down to here since I left my bar over there. So this is log base z of x to the third minus log base z, let's see, 2 to the fourth. That's going to give us what, 16 plus log base z of the third root of y, since it's a 1/3 power. Okay, so now we can do the product rule since we actually have a plus now. We have log base z of x to the third minus log base z of 16 times the third root of y. Okay, so I think we're good so far. So the final step is the quotient rule. So log base z, numerator is x to the third, and the denominator is 16 third root of y. Okay, so that completes the condensing and the expanding, which are the necessary skills to be able to solve equations moving forward. That is the end of part 3.